Hey Royal Family, I'm Roanna Moodley and thank you so much for joining the front row with myself, Roanna Moodley. It has been a while. I have taken a break from YouTube and I know I haven't been on YouTube for ever to say that I deserve a break, but I needed to take a reset and just kind of pull myself towards myself to try and figure out what the hell I'm actually doing with life. And so now that I'm on the other side of it, I want to share why I chose my mental health first. If you haven't by now, do click that subscribe button and the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I want to try posting at least twice a week, and I want this space to be about motivation, empowerment, self-care, and all that good stuff that really makes you the better version of yourself. Without further ado, let's get started. I think what happened to me was that I kind of got sucked into the daily stuff that was happening. I would wake up at 4 in the morning, go to work, come back, do household, mom, wife, all those duties, and then also try and make time to vlog and then do the social media thing. And then if you don't know, I am in marketing, so I'm pretty much constantly on the digital platforms and just always on social media. And then it got to a point where I felt so drained and I felt so overwhelmed and I just didn't know what was going on, and I started to feel sad and I started to feel really overworked and really tired. And so I took a break from doing any videos to just kind of center myself and to kind of reset, and to also just write down the reasons why I was doing what I was doing, and to just be more clear with my purpose and what I wanted to do from now onwards. I don't know if you are someone that feels like, you watch YouTube videos and they say niche down, and that was a little troubling for me because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to niche down at. And then there's something that we do in marketing called a SWOT analysis. And I decided to do a SWOT analysis on myself. And I wrote down the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for myself. And then I wrote down what are the things that I really love doing. And I was very grateful for the time that I took off being on YouTube, because I knew that I wouldn't be giving the best of myself. And if I wasn't giving the best of myself on this platform, then there was really no point of me doing it. So me choosing my mental health first is just kind of setting the precedence of what I wanted the space to be, because social media can really be an exciting opportunity and a very uplifting opportunity if you give it the right chance, but it can also be very toxic. I wasn't giving myself the right mental health. So I was becoming saturated with so many things that was happening on social media that I felt like I was chasing. And then when I took a break and I sat down with myself and really tried to figure out what this space means to me, it became a little bit more clearer. So as much as I love the beauty element of life and I love the glam and the glitz, I decided that perhaps that wouldn't really be my main focus. Because I wasn't enjoying it as much, and I wasn't someone that was really going to go all out there and kind of do all the makeup trends and the beauty trends, because that's really not my personality. So while I still love to do that, I felt like this space needed to be a space that I could share some of the learnings that I have in my life with you, and then also just have it more of an empowerment, wellness, wisdom sort of space. And then that's kind of what I want to niche down at. And at some point I might do a beauty video, but I don't think I'm gonna make it you have to do a beauty video on a Tuesday and you have to do a vlog. That's kind of rigid, and I was feeling a bit mind boggled with creating the right kind of content. And also I think just trying to keep up with the Jones is also something that I felt was getting to me. As much as I knew, I mean, it's not worth it keeping up with the Jones, but a certain element of yourself is like, okay, they're this age and they're this successful. What do I have to do to be that successful? And then I really just turned towards myself and kind of slapped myself upside the head and was like, are you serious? Like, are you really comparing yourself to somebody else? And I think that was my lowest point, because never in my life had I ever done that before. And now that I was sitting there actually wondering why not me, I knew I needed to change. I took some time off and just positioned myself a little bit differently in my mind. And there's a couple of things I have been doing which are not very different to what I used to be doing. But what I did, which was a major thing for me, is just to focus my mental energy on myself first and foremost before I do anything else. So the first thing I do when I wake up, instead of doing other things, I focus my energies towards myself. So that is a little bit of meditation and a little bit of prayer, sitting down in meditation and just chanting the name of God gives me such liberation, or sitting down and writing the name of God gives me such liberation. And just taking that 10 to 15 minutes to focus my energy on my soul has really, really made me feel happier and more positive, and I can see it in the way I behave. Before, the first thing I was doing was not really focusing my energy on myself. I was thinking about, okay, this is what I need to do, doing a to-do list, and I had all of these things written down, and then at the end of the day I would feel incredibly overwhelmed. So this method is really working for me, and I really, really do enjoy the person that I am now after taking a break. And look, the other thing is that it's okay to take a break, because, and with marketing, sometimes you feel like you always need to be present, because if you're not present, then you're irrelevant. So because I knew that, I felt like there was pressure on my personal platforms to also be present. But then I just realized that I am human, and sometimes it's okay to take a break, because we have different things, highs and lows, that we go through. And sometimes a break really does help to center yourself, and just so that you can find the answers you're looking for better, and you can think with a clearer head. And especially if you have like big projects, you can focus your attention on that 100%, as opposed to giving it like 70%, and then the other 30% you're thinking about vlogging and content creation for yourself, etc., which is kind of what was happening to me. And so choosing my mental health was really, really beneficial to me, because it helped me in so many ways. I'm looking down now because I wrote down a couple of things on my notebook. And the first thing, it just taught me to value myself a little bit more. It taught me to look within myself and look at the strengths that I have. Who am I in this world? What space do I fill up? How am I beneficial to my family and to my friends and to the people that I work with and to the people that are surrounding me? And I want to change the vibrational energies that I give off. I want to be promoting goodness and value and all of those things. And the second thing that helped me when I decided to choose my mental health first is just self-care, both mentally and physically, because a lot of the time, I wouldn't be drinking enough water, which is such a simple thing, but it's those little things that add up to big things, and then eventually you feel burnt out and unaccomplished. So it's that morning self-awareness for 15 minutes, whether it's meditating or chanting, that has helped me. And then it's drinking enough water to hydrate myself, eating regularly. Many days would go by and I would just skip breakfast, skip lunch, and then just eat like a pig at 2 p.m. because I am now starving. And that wasn't really very helpful for me. So just trying to have something to eat regularly taught me to feel happier. Having some small conversations with my partner and phoning my mom when I needed to speak to someone, all of those little things just kind of brought happiness to me. And the other thing is just stop watching so much Netflix. I have this personality that as soon as I choose my favorite series, I can marathon watch, and I really enjoyed it. But I also felt like when I was watching, I wasn't feeding my mental health, and I just felt more drained and more tired. I would go to bed and dream about the series and wake up and think about the series, and it was just such an unhealthy, vicious cycle. So also just like allowing my mind to have some freedom by playing some instrumental music. I love dancing. I'm a Bharatanatyam graduate, so just putting some Carnatic music made me feel happier and more centered and more like my old self. The third point I wrote down was good company. I linked good company with social media as well because of being a marketer and also creating content on a personal level. I find that I'm always in the social media space. So in a sense, those people are my friends, and choosing the right company is vital in that platform as well as your personal life. So even when I'm on social media, what am I feeding myself? Am I following people that are superficial, that's making me feel anxious about my life? My feed on my social media has to be uplifting, and I try to position myself in that way because I don't like to follow pages that are not uplifting or that are toxic or that are too superficial. Then I lose sight of like reality. So those are things I don't want to associate myself with. The other thing that helped me when I chose my mental health is just to de-stress, because when you're not focusing on your energy levels, when you're not focusing on how you're feeling and what you're thinking, they say you have to think good thoughts because your brain registers it. You have to utter good words because your brain registers it like that. And when you're around, especially in a work environment, with dealing with clients, dealing with different kinds of people, dealing with levels of stress, deadlines, etc., it can be so overwhelming. And I found that when I chose my mental health, the stress levels also dropped tremendously. And I used to get this like kink in my neck, like really badly, and I get it quite regularly. If I'm sitting in front of the PC for hours and hours and I start feeling it, start like hurting, and then I gotta like massage it in, and immediately that just gets released when I stop for a moment and took a breather. So it definitely has a big major part in your stress levels. The last thing I wrote down was realistic goals. I will always choose goals that are a little bit hard to attain. It's almost unrealistic to that level. And what happens is that I would write these goals down, and I'd have a vision board, and I'd just like try and envision it, and I'd work really, really hard, and more often than not achieve some of those goals. But I was really getting mentally drained and I was feeling so stressed. But because I'm someone that puts my game face on and I carry on, it started to build up, and inside of me, I wasn't feeling happy. So I found that when I take a goal, it's okay to have like an unrealistic goal. But what I was lacking is like breaking it down in the proper way, because I knew about SMART goals and all of that, and I was doing that, and I've done videos on how to set SMART goals. What I wasn't getting right is really just breaking it down into the small manageable tasks. That was where the challenge is, because I was pushing myself to achieve the goal faster than it needed to have been achieved. So for example, if I wanted to get a bicycle in the next 6 months, then instead of getting it in 6 months, I would push to get it in 3 months. So that's literally how my brain works. So what I do now is that I just sit down and I write down the menial tasks, the little tasks that will allow me to get to that main goal. It's still very challenging, but it has helped me to drop my stress levels, because I realized through my self-reflection is that what I tend to do is I don't allow myself time to reach the goal. The moment I want a goal, I almost rush myself into getting that goal. And that results in me getting stressed out and burnt out and feeling miserable and unhappy and working overtime and just not being balanced. And the whole mission is to be balanced, and to, when you have that balance, or you try to balance it all the time, you then start feeling a little bit happier. And that's really why I chose my mental health first, because I thought if I could just stop doing one thing, it would allow me time to relax for a bit. So me not vlogging for a little while really did help me to pull myself towards myself and be like, get your act together, girl. I really hope that this very truthful vlog helps you in some way or the other. I mean, it does get overwhelming, and sometimes when you want to reach a goal, it feels like a little daunting and you want to do it overnight, but nothing good ever happens overnight. The goodness only comes when you take the time out, you break it down into manageable tasks, and you really allow yourself to take it all in, because that's really what matters. I mean, what's the point of achieving a goal and then not remembering all the other stuff in between? Because when you get to that goal, then now what? My message to you is that if you want to take some time off for your mental health, take it, and do it with a sense of purpose. Don't just take your time off and like do nothing with that time. If you need time, that's a serious thing, and you should take your mental health seriously. It's really about a balancing game. It's really about understanding that life is a journey, and we are all on a path for our own purpose and our own greatness, and we all have a specific story that is tailor-made for us to achieve. And if it feels right, it is. And if it doesn't feel right, it's not. So whatever you do, whatever you choose to do, it should always bring you joy. And I think that's really the most important thing. South Africa has gone through a crazy time. I live in KwaZulu-Natal, and we had experienced extreme rioting and looting in the recent weeks, and we are still recovering as a nation, and it has really impacted us mentally as well, because on top of that we've got the different variants of COVID-19, Delta and Lima. And I mean, it's literally has been crazy. We even had like instances of not being able to get food in certain parts of the country, etc. So coming out of that and also trying to be this positive force is a little challenging, but that doesn't mean that we can't get over the hill and we can't get better, because I think all of these experiences just make you stronger, and it teaches you something. Just as how COVID has taught us many, many lessons, this too has taught us how united we are, how together we are, and how we should not have prejudice against one another. With that being said, I will catch you on my next video. Do subscribe to this channel. I will be posting every week, hopefully 2 videos a week I'm going to try for. But again, I'm not going to stress myself about it. I wish you good health, peace, and a real healthy mind, because it's so important that we take care of what's going on inside of us so that we can perform and we can feel better. And that's it from me. I think I'm done with this vlog. Catch you on the next one. Keep it royal.